across all my wallets. Okay. Turn on time machine mode. What we're able to do now is project into the future what my HEX stakes, what my HEX stake value would look like in 2 days, in 1 month, in 1 year, at the end of my max length stake. You know, what would they look like at today's prices, but then at a future price, at $PHEX, at $EHEX, at a, you know, I've also given you the option to set the daily payout, which this is pulling in the data dynamically based on the last 30 days, which I think is a fair average to use. But you could set that a bit higher, you know, because we know that the payouts tend to trend up because of the inflation and other forces. But you can set that to 2 if you wanted to just, you know, play around with the numbers. So what we're going to do, let's just set it to the end of the year, 14.7. And let's just do only HEX stakes because we can do cool stuff like that. So it's going to be, let's turn it off, 882,000. And then we're going to turn it on to the end of the year. And it's going to be, it's going to go up by, what was it, 882. And it's going to go up by, God, 11,000. Sorry, it's late here. But yeah, so you're gonna be able to see that increase. So 11K increase, which is pretty nice, and the breakdown. So going back to the actual HEX stakes themselves, you're going to be able to see the progress of each of them. And this is paper value because it's in orange. Projected locked value on December 31st, 2025 at today's price. You're going to be able to see the yield so far and the projected yield. So the extra 3%, that's the 58K contribution here, which is just like really, really cool. And this guy's actually done quite a lot of stakes, long stakes. So then we take it to, you know, let's do a 10x from here. So 893 by the end of the year. Say we do a 10-cent PHEX price and what are we doing? A 2-cent EHEX price. Okay, does that sound fair? I think that sounds pretty conservative. 8.2 million just in the HEX stakes. So you're going to see the, I mean, we were expecting that with the 10x increase, but now we can go in and adjust the date and do it to the end of 2026. And it's going to make a much bigger difference because it's going to, you know, there's going to be a lot more yield that's going to have elapsed. And you can take it to the extreme and do to the end of 2035, if you like, which is sweet. So 8.4 million. Let me try and spam this button and just go a bit further. I should probably add a way to do this a bit better. Okay, end of 2029, 9.1 million. Okay, and you can see the progress getting longer and longer, the projected yield. So it's like having a HEX stake calculator, but like right in your portfolio. So you can make plans, you know, like at $1 HEX, I predict that we'll hit $1 HEX this bull cycle. How many of my stakes will be due, and how much am I able to take off the table? How much will I have liquid? You can really do some advanced planning here, right? Now, EES mode. I'll do it separately. EES mode will show you how much HEX you'll lose. It will show you how much dollar value you can extract from your HEX stakes if you were to early end stake all of your stakes today. So you can see total portfolio value, and I have it filtered just for HEX stakes because that's what we're looking at here. It's going to go from 881 for this particular user. If we early end staked, it's going to go down. We can only extract about 25% of the value, which is actually pretty good. And I think it's because he served quite a long time. But you can see here the penalty will be in red. Projected ES value on today at the current HEX price. And you can take it a step further by combining it with the time machine mode. So if we're gonna, let's just clear the HEX price to make it today's price. And let's do, so I don't know why you would want to do it so far into the future, but realistically, you may want to do it, you know, a couple of months to a year in the future. Let's do the beginning of October 2027. So what, like 2 years into the future, if that's kind of when you think, yeah, it may push you over. And anyway, you can just look at the numbers yourself, right? There are a bunch of incentives and variables baked into HEX to encourage longer staking and encourage you to keep hold of your HEX stakes. But for some users, it may make sense for them to early end stake if we see truly incredible dollar values for HEX, right? So for example, for this HEX stake here, 14.8K max extractable. The penalty, yes, the penalty is, so 1 million principal. You've earned basically the same amount as the penalty in actual yield, which is, yeah, actually pretty astonishing. I need to check that. Yeah, it does seem like it differs. So that may just be because of it's right at the halfway point here, but you've earned quite, you're basically canceling out, because it's right at the midway point. You're canceling out the yield you've earned so far with the penalty, plus there's a bit of extra projected yield. So there is the principal and the extra projected yield if you were to early end stake at 63%. So you are able to get quite a bit out, which is not just the principal, it's a bit more than the principal. So, but yeah, the numbers are probably because these have the same stake idea. They're exactly the same, but that's pretty incredible that the yield and the penalty are bang on. We've just done that on the fly. But if we look at some of the others, they are different. So yeah.
Time machine.
Yeah. So that's pulse charts in, and hopefully you don't forget to turn it off. There's a massive label there, so you don't have a heart attack when you come in and see your portfolio either really up or really down.